Hey everyone, welcome to my Tuesday at 2 Facebook Live. I am April Davis with April Davis Creations, and today is Tuesday, June 10th. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. Welcome. Say hello if you're joining me live. I've got a lot of updates that I want to share with you before we actually get started, but we've got a fun bundle that we're going to be working with today. Poppin By, so I can't wait to show that to you. So just to get started, I want to take just a minute to thank those of you that take the time to say hello, place a comment, either during my Facebook Live, maybe you're watching the replay, or you can also comment on my YouTube channel because I always upload my Facebook Lives to YouTube after the fact. So if you miss me live, you can always watch the replays. And if you do comment, because I appreciate your comments, and I do Prize Patrol every single week to people because I appreciate you so much. So commenting, liking, sharing. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that as well. But let's talk about the winners from last week because I haven't heard from them yet. I've got 2 winners that I'm waiting to get in contact with me, and they need to send me an email to aprildaviscreations@gmail.com. And that would be Karen Kozleski. She was a winner last week, and Jan Joe was also a winner last week. So I have your prizes here. If you guys will reach out to me and send me a quick email with your contact information, I will get these in the mail to you. And I hope you do reach out to me because I appreciate you so much. Now, winners for this week's, which were actually drawn from last week, right? So this week I have Gayla Odell. Gayla, hi. Congratulations. So excited. I know Gayla, but I don't have her contact information. So Gayla, you will have to share your contact information with me. But I've got a pack of Designer Series paper and some bling to share with you. And then I've also got a pack of Designer Series paper and some embellishments as well to share with Peaceful Dreaming My Way. What a pretty name. Peaceful Dreaming My Way. So if you both would reach out to me and give me your contact information at aprildaviscreations at gmail.com, I will get your prizes in the mail to you. And once again, thank you so much for both commenting, sharing, liking. I appreciate you guys, and it helps my channel to grow. So again, thank you so much. All right, let's talk about some of the things that I need to update you on this week. Lots going on this summer. So I'm going to change my screen up. Whoops, let's see. I want to go here and here. Yep. All right, coming over to see you. We're going to look at my website. I did get my website up and going again. After last week, I had a few problems. Not only did I have a problem with the storms last week, but I also have a new computer, and my Switcher Studio wasn't talking to my iPad and my computer and everything. So we got that all figured out. So first thing I want to share with you is this. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much. First thing I wanted to talk about was the buy one, get one special that we have right now through the end of the month. This is incredible. It's for all of our suites and suite products. So suites online, suites in the catalog. You can go and shop a suite and get a suite at 50% off. Now, what I will tell you is you want to, depending upon what you've decided you have on your wish list, do the big orders and then do the smaller orders. Because if you do, for example, a suite and you add an embellishment, you're going to get the embellishment at 50% off. And you want that suite at 50% off. So buy a suite, and then you're going to get the second suite that you select at 50% off. Then if there are some embellishments that you want, place a separate order and get one embellishment full price, the other embellishment 50% off. Otherwise, Ask me how I know this. I've been playing around with it because I've been taking advantage of the 50% off as well. And I want my suites at 50% off. So you have to buy a suite to get a suite for 50% off. But the DSP, the ribbon, the embellishments, that's all 50% off as well. So this goes through the end of the month while supplies last. So don't forget about that. All right, the other thing that I wanted to remind you of is that we have our last chance shop still open, and there's lots of items in our last chance, retiring items that literally last chance to get. And in some cases, we've got some great sales. So take some time to go out and search for last chance in the search bar, and the last chance items will come up. You're going to find designer series paper, you're going to find kits, you're going to find embellishments, some of the stamp sets are on sale, just a lot of different things. These are dies that are on sale. So be sure to go out and look at the last chance items as well. All right, moving on. Today is the last day that you can subscribe to June's Paper Pumpkin. And just a little hint here, it says coordinates with the Floral Charm Suite Collection. That suite selection right now is on pre-order, which means it's coming. So we get a kind of a little glimpse of what the new Floral Charm Suite is going to be like. But today's the last day to do for June, and then tomorrow will start the subscription period for the July Paper Pumpkin. Now, just as a reminder, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber with me, you receive at the latter part of the month, as soon as we can get it done, but you'll receive a tutorial with alternatives. I partner with 3 other demonstrators, incredible creative demonstrators, and between the 4 of us, you will have 12 alternative projects that you can do with your Paper Pumpkin. You can create what's in the box, or you can do alternatives. And we're giving you a tutorial with those 12 alternatives. That is free to my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Now, if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, because perhaps you're a demonstrator, you can go out to my PDF store and you can actually purchase the tutorial, the alternative tutorial, if you're interested in that. All right, let's move on. Oh, I want to talk about this. This is exciting. Stampin' Up! Is offering their first ever virtual album retreat. This is a 3-day retreat. It is virtual. It's on July 16th, 17th, and 18th. You can see Mountain Time from 2 in the afternoon till 10:30. Now, you don't have to be present for all of it. You might get tired and need to go to bed, but it is on an exclusive Facebook group. So once you purchase the retreat, then you get access to an exclusive Facebook group, and you can go back to that group anytime and pick up any of the pages that you weren't able to complete while you were live, if you choose to go live. That being said, what's incredible about this, and I've got more information on my website, but this is 12 layouts. It's January through December, 2-page layouts. So you've got 12 2-page layouts that you're going to get. And the thing that I'm doing to kind of sweeten the deal a little bit, because I'm excited to do this virtual retreat, and I hope you'll join me on this, is I am actually offering for anybody who purchases the retreat through my store, I'm going to gift you with the 12 by 12 album. So you can put all of your 12-page spreads, these are 2-page spreads, in this album, and it will be, hi Jana, it will be my gift to you for joining me on this retreat. Good to see you too. All right, let's go to my website because there's still so much for me to update you on. So I'm going to go to the blog part of it first, and this is where I've got all the information for the month by month virtual album retreat. And let me see if we open that up. You can see all the goodies. I got my box this week. Oh my goodness, I couldn't get over all the goodies that I get. 12 different packages for each of the 12 months. But look at this, guys. Everything's pre-cut. You know how exciting that is? It's all pre-cut for you. Plus, you've got ephemera, you've got stamps, you've got your page protectors, you've got designer series paper, you've got photo layouts, embellishments, twine. everything you need, with the exception of like your adhesives and things like that, to do this. And then of course, I am offering the 12 by 12 Stampin' Up album if you join through me. And then I also included in here, just so you can see the 12 layouts. So it's all done by month. Hi, oh look, Dana, Sandra said hello. March, April, May, June, July. I mean, I'm just so excited. And what's fun about this is that, you know, you can do it the way that Stampin' Up has set it for you, or you can go rogue. I am notorious for going rogue, but I love a little bit of guidance as we're doing this. So anyway, that information's there. And the kits are available while supplies last. And then also I've included, there's some additional supplies lists. It's just sharing with you some of the cardstock, the fact that you might need adhesives, dimensionals, things like that. So everything's here for you to check that out. All right, let's talk about my classes and clubs. Obviously, this is a to-go class. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I want to talk about the Create Happiness Club because this registration ends on, this is the Create Happiness. This ends the end of the month. And I wanted to share with you these gorgeous cards that we're making. We're actually utilizing the Gallery Blooms and Beautiful Motifs suite. So we've got the stamp sets that you're going to need. And then we're featuring the beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. You will get a half pack of the Designer Series paper. You're going to get a full bolt of the basic beige ribbon, and then you're going to get a full package of the pressed flower motifs. And look at these cards that you're going to create. I wanted to show them because I have them on the website, but I just wanted to take a minute to show you how gorgeous these cards turned out because we're utilizing that fun Designer Series paper. But you're going to get everything you need to create 6 cards, except, you know, I don't do any stamping or die cutting in the featured bundle. So you'll want to be sure to have that featured bundle, which is a really, really good time to do it because it's buy one, get one. So, and here's the last card. So I wanted to share those with you. This registration, it's a bi-monthly kit. So the one that I'm advertising for now, the registration ends on June 30th. You will receive it in July. And then there won't be one in August, but there'll be another one in September. And I actually invoice for this club. Now, the other club that I want to tell you about is my monthly Crafting Happiness Club. And that club is monthly. It is a subscription club, so you our automatic payment comes out when you subscribe. But this month we're doing the beautiful butterflies. So we've got the beautiful butterflies stamp set bundle. And then I'm partnering it with the beautiful Bokeh DSP. This, you'll receive a half a package of this. You're also going to receive a full package of the itty bitty Bokeh mix. And I'll show you one of the cards that we're going to use with this. And then you're also going to get a full Winkostella for this because I use a lot of Winkostella on these cards. But look at these beautiful butterflies. So here's card number 1. Then we've got card number 2, card number 3, and card number 4. And you're going to receive enough product and materials to create 2 of each of these cards. Okay, so we've got that. What else do I want to show you while I'm here? I think the only other thing besides the paper pumpkin that I already talked about, and I've got information here for paper pumpkin, but remember, as a paper pumpkin subscriber, you receive the free 12 alternatives. And then the other thing is, if you're not a member of my email list, if you haven't subscribed to my email list, every month at the end of the month, the last day of the month, I send out a free tutorial to all my email subscribers with just some fun cards that you can create. Absolutely free as my thank you for being an email subscriber. So let's see. I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to share with you the cards that we're going to be making today. But first I want to share with you the bundle that we're going to use. This is the Poppin By Bundle. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, popcorn. But I've had so much fun with this. You know, I think what's really interesting about the stamp sets that Stampin' Up has, is you look at them and you're kind of on the fence. Oh, it's cute, but am I going to use it? And then you start doing things with it, and it's like, I'm so grateful that I got it because I'm having so much fun with it. So the Poppin' By to say hello. No one's better than you. Isn't that cute? No one's better than you. So let me show you the cards that we're going to create. So this is card number 1. No one's better than you. Look at that cute box of popcorn. And I'm going to be doing things up a little bit differently today. Surprise, surprise. Popping in to say hello. And I'm using our, it's called, what's it called? It's called my Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder, just because I thought it looked like popcorn. And then we've got this one, and I'm using the swirl embossing folder. Jana, you're just like me. It's like, you're right. Until I started seeing cards made with it. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have this. So here we go with card number 1. I am using Poppy Parade as my cardstock. I've got a layer of your basic black. I'm using the Designer Series paper that came from, you're going to love this, it came from the Mixed Florals DSP. But I love these colors because these colors were basically what I was utilizing for my card. And it kind of looks like popcorn colors, sort of. So I'm using Mixed Floral DSP for this particular card. And then we're going to do some stamping. So this is just a scrap from another project that I was working on. So we're going to stamp on this. And then I've got the label that actually came from Impressions of Bloom. So Impressions of Bloom has all these flowers, but they've got these great ovals that one is a stitched oval and one isn't. And so I find myself coming back and utilizing this all the time as well. So just because I'm using one bundle for the class doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to dip into some other bundles, because we've got some great tools out there. So let's go ahead and get started with this one. These are they are actually cling stamps. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this label and I'm going to stamp No One's Better Than You, and I'm just going to stamp it in my Memento black. And I just want to get my stamping done and out of the way first so that I can start to build this card. So we're going to go ahead and get this done. And then I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. I'm going to use my grid to kind of help me center it. And I'm going to put it not in the middle, but up about maybe a third or so. So we've got No One's Better Than You. We will put that off to the side. And then I'm going to clean this off really quickly with my simple chamois. Close this up, and we're going to create our popcorn box. So I'm going to bring this out, and the popcorn is going to be done in Poppy Parade and Daffodil Delight. So here we've got my popcorn stamp. And we're going to do Poppy Parade really quick. And I'm going to be die cutting these, so I'm just going to share this piece. And you could fussy cut, I suppose, but we've got dies in the bundle, so I'm using the dies. So we'll clean this off. I'm going to use the same stamp, and we're going to do the Daffodil Delight. So I've got that. Let's do our Daffodil Delight. Oh, and there were some other things in my envelope that I didn't bring out. They must have been stuck at the bottom. So let me go ahead and get this stamped. Okay, so we've got both of those. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to get my envelope back out again, because I've got some other goodies in there. I'm just going to let it fall out. I've got some popcorn that I already stamped and die cut for you. And then I've got a pair of shoes and some glasses. These guys are so cute. So let me bring my die cut in, or my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. I'm going to bring out my die for my popcorn so we can get that done. I'm looking for, I don't see my mint tape, so I'm just going to use a piece of Post-it note. And I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up. And I'm actually, oops, I got to turn it over. Have the wrong side up. I'm actually using a lot of these popcorn boxes, but we're only going to die cut one of them so you guys can see how I'm doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, bring in my cut and emboss, my mini, my well-loved plates. Let me make sure I've got this lined up. I think it moved a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Crank this through, and then we'll get our red, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so we put this one. Oh, that one's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's going to be in the back. So we're going to do a better job this time. It moved. We're going to go ahead and get this one down, and I'm going to do a better job. I don't know why it moved. But we'll put this one down. Okay, stay put, crank it through. All right, let's move this out of the way. So we've got our popcorn box now, and I'm gonna put this die back so I don't lose it. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut off the top of this popcorn box because I want the yellow popcorn showing through. So I'm just going to take my snips and we're going to trim the top of this off. This could be cinnamon popcorn, I guess, but I want buttery popcorn, especially since my sentiment says there's no one better than you. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And go with that. I might have to do a little bit of trimming here since I was a little wonky on this. So I'm going to layer this up, and actually it doesn't look so bad. I'm going to take off this little piece right here. And then what I can do is I can line my popcorn box up with its feet, and my popcorn is now sticking out of my box. How fun is that? All right, so let's go ahead and get this glued down. And we still have to decorate this little box with his shoes and his glasses. So I am going to bring in my silicone mat just because I'm going to be doing some gluing on it. And I've got these little guys right here, these shoes. This one goes here. This one goes here. Did I get the wrong ones? Is he turned over? Oh, yeah, he was turned over. So he's going to go here. And I'm going to use my take your pick. Do I have my take your pick out here? Oh my goodness. I did a class with the Girl Scouts this weekend, and I robbed my my recording items so that I had plenty of items for my Girl Scouts, and I didn't bring them back. So now I'm in a pickle. They're in the other room. So I'm going to just use my tweezers, and we're going to go ahead and get this shoe on here and this shoe on here. And then we've got the glasses, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the center of the glasses. I don't need to get carried away with the glue. I just want a little bit in the center. And then what I'll do is I'm going to put his glasses on. Are these not the cutest things? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna let him dry while we're doing that. And then I've got my popcorn here, and we are going to start putting this card together. So let me get that out of the way. And I'm gonna bring in my card base. Go ahead and get that folded. And furnish that edge. And then we're gonna start doing some layering. So I'm gonna layer my black first. And you know me, I have to kind of scooch things around so that I make sure I get it centered the way that I want it. And then we'll take our designer series paper. Again, I think it's perfect for this card. You just never know when you're gonna find your coordinating paper. Okay, and then I've got a teeny tiny border on this one. So let me scooch this around. But I love that pop of black there. Okay, now what we'll do is we're gonna take our label and go ahead and get it placed down, and then our popcorn is all going to be popped up. Okay, so now we'll get this centered, top to bottom, and again, I'm gonna pick it up just so that I can see it. I feel like I've got a little area up here. I don't know if it's I don't think it's ink. I think it's just pencil, so I'm gonna see if I can use my eraser to kind of, you know what, it's not coming off. So what we're gonna do is we are going to get my dimensionals out. We're gonna put a piece of popcorn over the top of it, and you'll never know. So let me go ahead and put dimensionals on the backs of my popcorn. Here, and then I'm gonna put a couple on my popcorn box. Here, got a little scrap there. Here, and we'll do one right here in the middle. Maybe one over here too, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting these guys together. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my little guy first, my little popcorn box first, and I am going to center him right about here at the top. Isn't that cute? He actually kind of helps to cover up that one area. So then we're gonna take, look at these little faces on these popcorns. So we're gonna put a little face here, and I think I'll do another one up here. This one's having a good time. And then the last one, I think I'm gonna put down here. There we go. And here you go, guys. This is card number 1. How fun is that? There's no one better than you. All right, let's move into card number 2. So we used designer series paper on the first card. The next 2 cards, I don't use designer series paper. I am taking advantage of the embossing folders that we have, because you can add a lot of texture and a lot of interest just by using the embossing folders. So let me show you what we're going to be utilizing for this particular card. And I'm going to take myself down, guys, just so that I'm not blocking your view if I happen to get in the way. But we've got, I'm using the Poppy Parade again. And then I've got a layer of basic white. And then in here, I also have a label that actually came from the Textured Notes dies. I don't know if you guys have these dies or not. The Textured Note, I mean, the stamps are great, okay? But the dies that came with them, I am in love with the dies. And I will be keeping this set once it's gone because of the dies, because I love these dies. But we've got this one that we're going to utilize, and I've already cut things out, so I'm just going to set this off to the side. And then the other thing that I did is I went ahead and stamped and cut my popcorn, because you've already seen me do that. But I also have in here a little pair of glasses, and we're going to actually put glasses on our popcorn. So we're going to try that out. So the first thing we have to do is we got to get our stamping done. So we got 2 things to stamp. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to stamp Popping In to say hello. So we're going to go ahead and get that done, and that is done in the Memento black ink. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that inked up, and then get this lined up, just so that I can hopefully get it straight, and then turn it around. Hopefully my head doesn't get in your way, but if it does, I apologize ahead of time. And I'm just going to stamp this out. Popping in to say hello. Very good. And then let's clean this off. It looks like I got a few little areas on it. So when you're tapping in your ink, just a reminder, try not to get your edges, because when you're stamping, if you push too hard or if you rock your stamp, you might get edges. And so I always have a mono sand eraser available to me. This isn't bad. I don't know that anybody would notice it besides me, but I'm going to use the mono sand eraser to help me to remove. And basically what it does is it sands that ink away. But this is a way for you to correct your paper without having to start over again. So we've got that. That lightened that up really well. And then I have it down on this end as well. So let me just give it a little bit of a go down here. And it's a mono sand eraser. So if you don't have this in your repertoire of tools, you might want to, because it does help to save. So we've got that now. All right, so everything's ready to go there. Now what I'm going to do is, before I emboss, you need to do this before you emboss, I am going to stamp my popcorn and my little pop, pop, pop. So we're going to start with the popcorn, and I'm just going to open up my chamois here, but we're going to go ahead and stamp our popcorn. So I'm going to put one here. No rhyme or reason to what I'm doing, but I'll do that one. And then we're going to do this one. We'll do it maybe over here. I want to make sure that I leave plenty enough room for my popcorn box. And then I've got this little guy over here. So let's go ahead and get him stamped here. How do I want to do this? Which way do I want him to go? Do I want to go this way? I want him to go this way. Okay. And then let me see, I'm just testing this out. I'm done with my Daffodil Delight. I'm going to put my little popcorn box and get it. Put my little popcorn box here. And I'm doing popping in to say hello here. And I'm going to put my little glasses on this guy. So he's like really shocked. And then I'm going to stamp pops. So I'm going to bring out my black, and we're going to stamp pop in a number of different places. So we're going to pop here, we're going to pop here, pop here, I'm going to pop up here. I'm really going crazy with the pop. Pop here, and maybe another one right over here. Okay, so one more. I'm going crazy with the pop this time. All right, so now we've got the pop. So I've got all my stamps over here on my chamois. I'm just going to give them a quick twist so that we don't get any ink on us. That'll give that ink a chance to dry. And then what we're going to do before we can do anything else is we need to emboss this. So I'm going to bring out the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. And I'm just going to place this in here where I think I want it to go. And there is a circle here, so maybe I want that circle to be centered right here. So I'm going to go ahead and place this where I want it to be. Close this up. And now what I need to do is I need to bring in my big embossing, cut and emboss machine. And it is big. But I have a big embossing folder, right? So I have to be able to... All right, so let's go ahead and get our plate down. We've got this down. Our gray plate goes over the top, and I'm going to crank this through. All right, let's move all this stuff out of the way. My embossing folder takes up the majority of the room. Okay, move this out of the way. All right, there we go. Get this out of here. And we've got the pop. And I'm not using designer series paper, but look how fun that looks. Okay, so now we can start building the card. So let's go ahead and get this folded. And I'm gonna get it burnished. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this one down. And sometimes when you are gluing down an embossed layer, sometimes you need just a little bit more glue because of the peaks and valleys to the embossing. It's only going to adhere to certain areas of the embossed layer because these are all popped up. So I want to make sure that I've got plenty enough glue that everything's going to hold tight. So now we've got this, and now what we'll do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back of all of our pieces, including my glasses. So we'll show you how we're going to do that in a minute. So let me go ahead and get my popcorn box down, and then I'm going to pull out the mini dimensionals for this strip. So we'll go ahead and we'll use these minis because they fit perfectly on this strip. Okay. And then I'm going to take, see this little area in the back of the eyeglasses, I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut into my dimensionals. And this is going to be too big, so I'm going to cut this way, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut this way just so that I have that little piece there. And I'm going to use my tweezers to help me because it is a little piece. And we're going to take it, and hopefully I've got it small enough that it's going to fit right in the nose of my glasses, if you will. So let's go ahead and get that done. Yep, it's going to fit right there. And if I was thinking ahead, I probably should have used this isn't going to show through, so I'm not worried about it. But we do have black dimensionals as well, so it probably would have been a good idea for me to use the black dimensionals. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take this because I want to put my popcorn box on top of my sentiment. I'm going to put my sentiment down first. So let's go ahead, and I don't have my take your pick, so I'm going to have to take all these dimensionals off with my fingers. You know how I like to use my take your pick to help me get them off. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want to get this centered on each side. That looks pretty well. It's off just a tad. All right, so we'll do that. And then I'm going to put my little popcorn box, and my popcorn box is going to go right here. So I'll get these off. Let's see. He's having fun. He's going to go right there. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this little guy up here for the glasses. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and get this centered around his eyes, where I think the nose is. Oh, fun, fun, fun. And look, guys, card number 2 is done. How fun is that? I look at these and I'm like, I just love this. I'm having fun. All right, the last one, I'm going to show you this, and I am changing this one up just a little bit. So one of the things that I realized, and this is when I decided to do some embossing, is I started creating these cards. Thank you, Jan. Hi, Jan. Did you see that you're a winner? You need to send me your contact information. You won last week. Thank you for joining me. I created this card like this the first time, and I just used the Daffodil Delight. I cut out my popcorn, placed this down, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I just wish there was something more to this. But I didn't necessarily want to use designer series paper. So that's when I created it again. And this time I used the So Swirly embossing folder. And the So Swirly kind of reminds me of, I don't know, melted butter flowing around. So I'm going to create the same card again, only I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I decided that I wanted my popcorn to be white instead of yellow. So I have my basic white base layer. I've got my Daffodil Delight, and we are going to actually cut our popcorn out of that, although we wouldn't necessarily have to do that, but we will, just to kind of follow suit. And then what I did is I die cut some additional popcorn, and I've got one shoe. Where's my other shoe? I hope I didn't lose my other shoes. Did you guys see it fall out? I've got more shoes. I was prepared in case, for whatever reason, oh, there it is. Okay, it showed up. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's work on this yellow piece, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. We'll get it done, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So we're going to bring out our dies. And last time I did the dies, I used in here, you've got your popcorn, and then you've got an insert piece, if you will, to kind of add some definition to your popcorn. I was looking to see, I didn't do the definition on this one. Let me see if I did it on the first one. Yes, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So the first card I made with this, I used the definition dies, the little cutouts that you see. And I did that on this, and then I thought, you know, I don't really need to do that because they've got a face and everything. And when you stamp, they've already got some definition, right? You can see the little white definitions that they've got here. So that's why I did not do that on my second card. Okay, now I did do it on my popcorn here, but there's no stamping on my popcorn. It's just a plain piece of popcorn. But we're gonna dress this up in just a second. So as a result, since I'm not going to be putting the definition in, I'm just gonna get out my dies, and we're going to place them haphazardly on my cardstock, and I'm going to just get them down where I think I want them, and then we're going to run them through the embossing folder. Well, not the embossing folder, the cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to tear this and see if I can get that to hold it in place. I think I need a new one because I want to do this all in one fell swoop is what I want to do. So we'll put this one up here, and then I've got that one. We'll put it here. And then I'm going to bring this one up here because I do want to have room for my popcorn box, which is going to go here. And then my strip, my sentiment strip. Okay, you guys can't see, sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our popcorn cut out first. So again, I have to bring in my big cut and emboss. And my well-loved layers. This big guy gets a lot of use. Check that out. That's crazy, right? I need to clean it. I need to clean it for sure. All right, let's put this on here. I need my base. It's like too loose. I don't have my base. So we'll put the base in here real quick. All right, now we're ready to cut. So we'll get this cut out. Popcorn's white anyway, right, Sandra? So, unless it's totally coated in butter. All right, so let me go ahead and get this off, and we're not done. I'm not going to put the machine away because I still need it. But now I have my popcorn cut out, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my So Swirling embossing folder. And I think I'm going to go... Which way do I want it to go? I think I want it to go this way. So let me get this centered up the way that I want it. Just kind of looking at it. There's no rhyme or reason. We've got this base. This is not a 3D embossing folder, so I need to bring in this layer, and where's my top layer? All right, so let's go ahead and crank this through. Okay, now let's move this out of the way. And plates out of the way. I think we're good to go there. Now we've got this. I just love the look of that. Okay, let's go ahead and we've got one more thing we have to stamp. So let me get this stuff out of the way. I don't want to lose my white popcorn because we're not done with the white popcorn. We got some things we got to do. So I'll save the yellow popcorn in my stamp set, what I do is I have a little folder, and in my little folder or plastic bag, I put all my extras in here so that the next time I go to create a card, I've got some extras and I don't have to worry about cutting them out. So we've got this. Let me put these dies off to the side. I don't want to lose those. And we're going to bring in, I don't want to lose my shoes. I've got shoes here, but let's bring in Popping In to Say Hello again. And this time I am going to try not to get my edges inked up so that I don't have to worry about correcting my problem. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and get this lined up, and I will get this stamped. Popping In to Say Hello, straight down. There we go. All right. Okay, let me clean this off, and we are going to start to build this card. So I've already taken care of my popcorn box the way that I did it on the first one. Let's go ahead and get his shoes on. So I'm going to bring this back in, and I've got his shoes here. Let's see, this one goes here, and this one's going to go, is that right? Maybe. I think I've got them backwards. Put them in the wrong feet. All right, turn this one over. We'll go ahead and put some glue down on each side, and I'll use my tweezers to help me get his shoes on. So we'll put glue there. Put this shoe on here. This guy's not having glasses. I have glasses cut, but I just decided not all my popcorn boxes need glasses. Although the glasses are really cute, I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna move it off to the side, and I'm gonna bring my popcorn out, and I'm gonna get out my Daffodil Delight ink. And I do love butter on my popcorn. So we're going to sprinkle it, if you will, with some butter. So I'm just gonna take my dauber in my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to ink up the edges. And this then will give a look of butter without making the popcorn yellow. Okay, so we've got that one, and then we'll do this one. And then you guys will have to tell me which card you like better, the one with the white popcorn after we get done, or the one with the yellow popcorn. And you did notice that when I cut this out, I did use the definitions. So you have to center the definitions into your die, and then it will cut those that detail into it so that it looks like a popcorn kernel. All right, so let's go ahead and get that done. So now I've got butter on my popcorn, and now we can start to build this card. So let's bring out my base. Get it folded. Okay, and then we're going to take our embossed layer and go ahead and get it down. Get it centered up where I want it. That moved. Let's move this a little bit. Having to do some scooching. Okay, let's go ahead and turn these over, and I'm going to find my dimensionals, and we will put dimensionals on these guys. And we're going to place these guys back in the place where we actually cut them out, although we didn't cut them out of this particular one, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead. I think this one goes here, so I'm going to pop this one in here. And then we've got this one. And which one does this go in? This one goes in here? No? Here? Huh. Give me a minute. There we go. So we've got that one, and then we've got one more that we're going to place, and that's this one There we go. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're gonna, I did not put dimensionals on my sentiment, so let's go ahead and put the sentiment down, and then we'll put dimensionals on our popcorn box. So let me get this moved over right about here. And I want to make sure I've got that straight. That looks good. And then we'll take our popcorn box, who has been over here drying for, waiting for his shoes to dry. So we're going to go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of him. We're going to do 4. And then I'm going to pull the back of this off. And we're going to put him right about here. Okay, so card number 3 is now done. How fun is that? Now look, guys, we have 3 different cards. I made them basically the same way. We have a card with white popcorn. We have a card with yellow popcorn, both with the embossed folder, embossed background. And then we have the yellow background, and we didn't emboss the background. Which one do you guys like the best? Do you like the yellow popcorn? Do you like the white popcorn? Do you like the embossing on the background? All right, let me bring these others in. Let me see, I'm gonna do them like this since we had 3 of those for me to share with you. And then we're gonna bring this guy in. That was the first one we did. This was the second one we did. And then we've got our cool dude. He's a cool dude with his glasses. How fun is that? And the difference on this one is I have the detail on this one and I don't have the detail on this one. So there we go. All 3 utilizing the Poppin By Bundle. How fun is that? You like the embossed, you like the yellow popcorn, Jana? You like the one with the yellow popcorn? Yeah. Anyway, so fun. And you know, you guys probably know this about me now, is that I don't ever white popcorn with the edges. That's great, Jan. I liked it. White popcorn shows up. You're absolutely right. Maybe I could do a white background and white popcorn. I don't know. I hadn't thought about doing that. Anyway, I never do my cards the same way twice. I'm always changing things up. So let me come back to see you guys. And just thank you so much for being here. It's so much fun for me when you guys are able to join me live and just comment and, you know, give me some input. And I just love having you here. So thank you so very much. I want to remind, let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. I want to remind the winners. Jan, you were a winner from last week, so you need to send me your contact information. Send it to aprildaviscreations@gmail.com, and I'll get your package in the mail to you. Karen Koleski, you also won last week. This week winners are Peaceful Dreaming My Way and Gayla Odell. So if you guys would reach out to me with your contact information, I will get these in the mail to you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for commenting. Don't forget to like and share. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. And I will see you guys again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.